Yo, yo, what's up? How are things? How is your afternoon? I hope you're doing well. Um, just checking in. Um, got a couple of games. I'm going to stick around for the first couple hours tonight, give or take. Um, in the college foot. Get us all primed up, ready to rock and roll tomorrow. Tulsa, Oklahoma State, underway. In Stillwater, and Iowa at Rutgers will start in about 20 minutes from Piscataway. Um, breaking these down right quick. Tulsa at Oklahoma State. Tulsa won the toss and deferred. Oklahoma State off a bye and a 69-3 loss at Oregon. I did make the game closer to 15. However, their quarterback is not playing, and the drop off to this Flores kid is, I believe, fairly significant. I'll go over all the prices on these two games and some other stuff tomorrow as we get a little further into the evening. Baylor Hayes, the quarterback for Tulsa tonight. Oklahoma State missing their left tackle. Quarterback for Temple, Francis, is out with a concussion. So that's the deal there. Um, Tulsa closed. Yeah, I made it 15 with all that information, but could never have the favorite. Not even when it closed 10. First half was 6.5 and 27.5 under 15. Game total circa open 12.5, 57 down to 10 and 54.5, 55 at post. The first drive, Oklahoma State took it down and kicked the field goal, and the second drive, Tulsa takes it right down the field. Baylor Hayes complete for 19 yards to a wide open Braylon Presley. 6 plays, 75 yards, 209. The touchdown was 19 yards. The extra point was good. 9:36 to go in the first quarter. Tulsa leads the Cowboys 7-3. Live price. Oklahoma State down to 5, basically 5 flat. Total 59, and there is a 59.5 out there as well. 7-3 Tulsa at OSU after each team has possessed the ball once. The other game tonight, Iowa Rutgers. I made Iowa a 3.5 point favorite. Circa open 3.5 and 43. It's now to a pick. Others are 1.5 and 2 on Iowa on top the favorite, so there must have been a significant bet on Rutgers that they've taken from probably a house account. They're begging for money on Iowa, and generally speaking, right at post on a TV game, the only reason that they would do that is to try to offset something that they were perhaps they're just too far out to it. That's my speculation. So somebody gave them a big rattle on Rutgers, most likely. There are 2s out there and 1.5s everywhere. There's not even any 1s. They went right to pick. So, okay, there it is. It went to Iowa 1. So somebody gave them a rattle on Iowa at pick 'em. Total Open 43 is now up to 46, 46 and a half. Not really surprising, given Iowa's offense has been a little bit more proficient this year, even if it's still not very good throwing the ball. They can run it for some success. And yeah, Rutgers has done well offensively against a few overmatched foes. So let's see what they do against Iowa here. Iowa's, I think, played in a couple of overs. So it's gotten bet up a few levels. Again, we'll see how it plays out the first half. Iowa half point, the dog 20, give or take. That's pretty common at most places in the first half total. 23. Again, that's pretty much consensus price, 23 flat. So we'll start it back up here shortly. OSU 57 yards on their first drive, 46 on the ground, 11 through the air. 4 first downs, 7 yards of play, but they stalled out. Once they got it into field goal range, once they got to the red zone, kicked a 35-yard field goal. And then Tulsa answered with a 75-yard drive, 73 of it through the air, 6 plays. I have under in Pittsburgh, 4-3 Oakland and the Pirates. That's drawn dead. Butler just blasted one 9 miles. Once Pittsburgh gets to 4-all, then under 8.5 loses. No bueno. I've been on Keller unders a lot this year. It's usually been pretty good at home. This one not so much. Miguel Vargas homers off Cease. White Sox 2-0 over San Diego. The Reds couldn't ask for much of a better start. Too bad that Lodolo's not doing himself any favors. The Cubs are leading Cincinnati 4-3. Washington leads the Mets 4-1. San Diego's losing to the White Sox 2-0. So all the teams in the wild card are just pissing and shitting themselves. Total fiasco. Should just be betting 3-teamers against those 3 teams the rest of the way. Jesus. Must win. The reason they must win because the teams stink. Let's see what's happening. Cleveland plays at Minnesota, and Detroit's getting beat 6-1 by Atlanta. So Cleveland can tighten the gap in that division. In the wild card, Boston and Tampa are underway. Yankees are down 1-0, bottom of the 3rd. In Baltimore, Toronto tied at 1 early in Kansas City. OSU, 3 and out. Fields, no gain. Fields for 2. Incomplete pass, and they punt it for 42 yards. Tulsa takes over, up 7-3, 8:32 to go in the first. I would suspect one more Tulsa drive of a touchdown, maybe even a field goal. And the Oklahoma State pregame price of 10 will be gone. It's only a matter of time now. How long will it be before Tulsa becomes the actual betting favorite? And I think the algorithms would say a lot longer than the person actually booking the game would. I would not put myself in position and need any more money on Oklahoma State until I see some signs of life. They look like they're walking around dead out there. The defense is totally lost. I mean, Tulsa's offense couldn't even get first downs against New Mexico State. Now they're just going to go out here and barge right down the field in 6 plays to score a touchdown. And this coach is walking around with a noose on his neck. He got no chance to survive if he loses another game. If they lose a game like this, where's the wins coming from? Who are they going to beat? The Tulsa Oklahoma State game is on ESPN for those of you who want to watch it while you listen to me. And The other game that starts at the top of the hour, a little after that, Iowa Rutgers, will be on Big Fox. And that'll again start momentarily. Ugh. Forgive me. Need to get myself some rest. I actually went to bed at a decent hour, but I got up. I didn't sleep well. Got up kind of early. Ran some errands today. Got to get all the contest stuff in. Grocery. It rained some, which makes people drive bad. Not myself. And you got early soccer tomorrow, so I'm looking to try to call it. Ugh. Pretty early tonight. I'll throw the Dodgers on TV. That game starts at 10:10 Eastern. Maybe eat a little dinner, and then that'll be it for me. I'll probably go to sleep with the game on one of the TVs. Tulsa just taking it right down the field again. .28 yards so far. 2nd and 8 at the Oklahoma State 41. Yeah. Not even gonna bother with the. Not even gonna bother with the TV feed. It's on the delay. As I've told you before, easy for me to watch the games that have a good feed for you when it's on the antenna. So Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, CW, Telemundo, Unimas, Univision, all that shit. It's on the antenna. I'll have a faster feed than all you guys, and if it's not, then I'm going to have a slower feed. ESPN's on one of my streaming boxes, so I'm usually about a minute, maybe a minute 15. Well, a little bit less than that. 45 seconds to a minute behind is the average. Minute behind actually what's happening on the field. So the box score gives me what's happening as we speak. There's an injury on 2nd and 8 on the TV. The box score tells me 4th and 3. So clearly they're in a position. I'm guessing 4th and 3 at the 36. They're too close to punt. Too far for a field goal. Probably go for it. First down, Tulsa. Baylor Hayes keeps it for a run of 7 to the 29. Hayes is the backup. The starter was announced out with, I think he had a concussion last week, if I'm not mistaken. Greg Schiano and Kirk Ferentz, the coaches in this one. Ferentz is the longest tenured coach in the country. He started at Iowa. It's his 27th year. He started at Iowa. 1999, I guess, was his first year. I think he's the last coach to start his tenure in Division I at before the turn of the millennium. Gosh, it makes somebody like me feel pretty old. I'll tell you that much. Greg Schiano's back at Rutgers. It's his 6th year there in this tenure. He's also been there before that from 01 to 11. So 17 years overall before he took over coaching the Bucks after the 2011 season. Did he go coach another college team first? I forgot the resume. Bottom line, he's been at Rutgers. He started his career at Rutgers almost at the same time, or just right behind when Ferentz started at Iowa. And of course, Rutgers was not in the Big Ten back then, but those two guys, because of all their experience before, they're really not that far off in age. And they were having a good laugh at the middle of the field, and rightfully so, good for them. I don't know how much longer Schiano will continue to coach. It feels like once a guy like Rich Rodriguez, who goes back to West Virginia, or Greg Schiano, who goes back to Rutgers, at their age and this point in their life where they've been and everything, especially for Rodriguez, this might be it. You know, this might be the last job. They're getting up there a little long in the tooth to begin with. He had a lot of experience. You know, if the money's been good enough, you know, at some point you just take what you've got and you stop chasing the next job. I feel like Schiano may be to that point at Rutgers. Certainly, Ferentz hasn't even thought about leaving Iowa, and he's had some overtures from the NFL and never really seriously pursued them. So, we're nearing kickoff there again. Circa back to Pick'em. They are absolutely drowned to Rutgers. There's no in no world. Although BetOnline is at 1 on top now. There's also another 1 in town, and Paradise Wager just went to 1. Everybody else is Iowa 1.5 or 2. And, you know, listen, with the low total at 45, 45 and a half, 46, I guess mostly 46 now, it's 46 and a half, still pretty low for a college game. You know, I wouldn't totally blame you for trying to make it fall. I mean, you'd be a lot better off with 2.5 to even than you would with 2, because you only, you know, if you take +2 and then pick them, if you're -110 on both those bets, you only scoop it if it falls 1 Iowa, and then you have a side if it falls 2. But that's it, because Pick'em's obviously it's not going to fall 0. So you don't have a huge edge. But with a low total, if it was like 50, 58 or something, then it would be a minimal edge for sure. In the low 40s or high 30s, every point would be worth more. Mid 40s is getting to the point where there's not much to it. But just for people who think it's going to be close and wanted to have a sweat, some people have bonus bets, you know, depending on how new the book is, or how, you know, what your offer is if you're a new customer or whatever, and you're just looking to try to not gamble but only make arbitrage bets or hedges. Anyways, that one's going to go shortly. A bunch of commercials on Big Fox. And then the other game, Tulsa and Oklahoma State. 5:49 to go in the first. First down, Tulsa at the OSU 29. The live price, as I said, they didn't even bother letting them score yet. I told you the live line with Tulsa being a dog was going to disappear after they scored. I stand corrected. It's already there. Circa's pick and 60 and a half. Chris is 1 on the bottom, 58 and a half. So if Tulsa gets a field goal here, maybe it'll be, you know, still pick them. But if they don't get anything, maybe Oklahoma State will still be the favorite again. But it goes to show what they think of it. The Circa opened at 12 and a half, and then it closed 10. And then even without Tulsa's quarterback, the backup's in there just shredding them. 7 for 9 for 97 yards. And he also had a 7-yard keeper on 4th and 3 to move the sticks before this commercial. Feel free to chat, ask any questions about the games tonight. There's one girls basketball playoff game, an elimination game between New York and Phoenix. There's 2 CFL games. One of them's nearing halftime. The other one's at 9:30 Eastern. You got a 1AA game, Columbia and Lafayette. That's in the third quarter. 24-14 Lafayette leads Columbia, laying 3 at Lafayette. And then, of course, the 2 college games, and there's a full baseball slate. Obviously, feel free to ask about tomorrow or Sunday's NFL as well. Be glad to answer anything that I can. I'm excited about several plays on both college and the pro cards. Didn't do much alteration. Had to pick out a couple of contest plays, you know, sort of shorten the card on Monday when I had numbers done. I think I had 10 or 11 that I had to get down to 7. And, of course, the numbers matter. I mean, you know, you don't know what until the numbers come out on Wednesday for those contests, and they're stale. You don't know what they're going to do. So we'll see. The lights have been out. Rutgers, they got people with cell phones on and pom-poms and all this stuff. It's a good crowd, not a sellout. Don't know who won the toss. I'll have to check the box for that. Let's see. Iowa won it, and they took the ball. So there you go. Interesting. I believe they did that against Iowa State too. Don't quote me on that. Knowing that before the game, you probably had some value taking Iowa in the first half. Big return here. There's no flags. He gone. He is gone. Gone. Touchdown Iowa. Kickoff return for a touchdown 12 seconds in. Caden Wetjen No flags. Iowa 6, Rutgers 0. And that person at Circa who bet their life savings on Rutgers is sick right now. But it's early. Wow. That's a hell of a start. Iowa minus a half even. I was about to say that they had to be a half flat or half minus money if you knew they were going to get the ball first. 23 was the total. 100-yard return. Kick is good. 7-0 Hawkeyes. Okay, well, that starts with quite a bang. Tulsa's drive has stalled. After 15 plays and 60 yards, taking 5:51, Morgan's field goal from 27 is good. 2:41 to go in the first. Tulsa 10, Oklahoma State 3. Game closed OSU minus 10 for those who were not aware. I'm curious. I bet Oklahoma State's going to be a small favorite this time, but I will say one thing: if they get another stop here, I would suspect that that Tulsa will be the in-game favorite the next time the line pops. All right, so 14:48 left in the first, 12 seconds in. Rutgers down by a touchdown. Iowa yet to run a play. Live price Iowa 5, 52.5. Iowa kicks. Caught at the 4. Fair caught at the 4. Van Caligmanis. Rutgers starts at the 25. Complete pass to the outside, gain of, let's call it 5. First play from scrimmage. Caligmanis hums it down the middle, or to the right side, sorry. Complete out near midfield. Caligmanis was incomplete to the left side. It's 3 passes in a row to start the game for Rutgers. Curious to see if that's going to be a trend or if it's just something that they think that Iowa's giving them. Certainly want to see if there's something that pops here for live or halftime. Not doing all this work for nothing. Let's see if we can make us some money here. I'll keep you posted. So on both games, actually. Oh, wow. Rutgers is taking shots. They're inside the 5 here. That was the 3rd and 6 play after the short completion. Kalikmanis is now 4 for 5. Slot fade. Single coverage. He's outran the defender. And they pound it right up the middle. 12:39 to go, and Rutgers is in. 7-6 point pending. Raymond in. First carry of the game for the Scarlet Knights, and they're an extra point away from tying it. What a start. Both ways. I'd love to jump up and down and say it's time to go bet under, just based on what I presume to be coming, but I can't quite get there yet after this start. And let's also remember Rutgers scored 31 against Ohio U in the middle of the 3rd quarter, and they were done after that. I think they had 24 at halftime, or maybe 28 at halftime. So who knows? Extra point is good. This Iowa defense, which sort of seems like to be vaunted by most people, just gave up a 6-play, 75-yard touchdown, 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Antoine Raymond pounds it in, and the Hawkeyes, who ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, will presumably get the ball first. Will presumably run up their first play on offense when they get the ball back here, tied at 7. The baseball schedule had a bunch of teams on the West Coast home last week, which led to some late start times. This week, the Dodgers are home and Arizona's home. Everybody else, all the American League teams are out east. And so all of the games that are supposed to be gone outside the Twins, who are in rain delay, are gone, with the exception of Philly, Arizona, and San Francisco, LA. So 2 playoff games that are implicated, playoff implications, will start later. The other 13 games are all either underway or, in the case of Minnesota, Cleveland, in a rain delay. All right, let's get up to speed here. 7-7, 12:39 to go in the first. Revamped live price. Pick them again at Circa. The guy who bet Rutgers is back happy again. Everybody else is Iowa 2, 1.5. Same as the pregame. The difference is the total that closed 46.5 is now 58.5. And I sure in the hell can't go over 58.5 with Iowa involved. I'll wait, but it won't be long. Let's just see what happens. Chris got popped on Rutgers. They have Rutgers the favorite now. Pick now 1.5. Rutgers 58.5. So Rutgers money offshore. Let's see what happens from there. Again, Iowa hasn't had the ball yet. Rutgers looked very impressive on the first drive. They threw the ball. Each of the first 5 plays, Kalikmanis did only 1 incompletion. Once they got down to the 5, Raymond banged it in on their first rush of the game. So that's where we stand there, 7-7. Kickoff coming. I'll report that, given what happened the last time. This time it's out of the end zone. And Tulsa leads Oklahoma State 10-3 at the end of the first quarter. Freddie Brock lost 3 yards for OSU. That was on first down. Oklahoma State has it at their own 43, 2nd and 13, down 10-3. Live price, Oklahoma State 1.5, and 55. 1.5, 55. Like I say, if they don't get anything on this drive, the days of Oklahoma State being favored in this game will be numbered, if not all the way gone. Iowa's first play is a shot downfield. It's incomplete. Actually had it for a second. Rutgers knocked it away. Anderson was the intended receiver. This is Gronowski, the Iowa quarterback, transfer from 1AA Power, South Dakota State. So Rutgers with a huge gain on a slot fade to set up the touchdown run on 3rd and 6 from midfield. And Iowa's first play from scrimmage is a bomb. Rutgers has the whole team in the box. I guess I can't blame them if they protect him. Why not run something like that? No. Some sort of a glorified jet sweep to the guy who ran the kickoff back for the touchdown, and it's dropped for a 4-yard loss. I tell you, Rutgers is flying around. I'm impressed with them so far. Obviously, that kickoff return was a blotch on the resume to start, but Chris has already got Rutgers 3. Clearly, have been impressed with what they've done up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage. I tend to agree with him. That may or may not change, but it's awful quick. But I mean, in the old days, if you got the algorithm doing the work here, it'd be Rutgers pick 'em or pick minus money. I'd be like, okay, we'll get a stop and maybe they're worth a look. This time Iowa throws it downfield again. Wow, just incomplete. It looks like he had one-on-one coverage on the left side. Quarterback dropped it right in. The receiver could not bring it home. So Iowa goes 3 and out on their first drive after 2 long incompletions that both appeared to be, I would say catchable is the right word. Yeah, that ball's got to be caught. Phillips hit him right in the hands, both of them. He even pushed a little bit to get separation. That ball's got to be caught. The quarterback, I know the first pass I thought was okay on first down. That third down pass was a gem, and they didn't catch it. Iowa punts on 4th and 14. Out of bounds, Rutgers will take it at about their own 36. 11:34 to go in the first. Let's see if Big Fox jams up a bunch of commercials up our ass. Either way, Rutgers is the favorite. 3, looks like. There are commercials coming, so hang tight here. Oklahoma State's going to run the ball to set up the punt. This is hideous. Oklahoma State, without the help from longtime donor T. Boone Pickens, who passed away a few years ago, the program's not nearly on the same footing, certainly financially, that it was before. With Oklahoma going to the SEC and the Big 12 sort of expanding in all ways around them, they've sort of got left behind with how they finished so bad last year. The talent on the field now clearly is inferior, and there's not nearly enough money out there compared to what other schools in their league and around the country are paying for them to expect to be super competitive. Hang on, I'm going to chart something while I'm thinking about it. My old boss, his contest plays in the Westgate. Let's see if we match on anything. He has South Alabama minus 14.5. Memphis State plus 7.5, which is a match with me. Where is that game? Okay. That's Richie's side as well. I'm guessing some of that has to do with they're good friends. Nebraska plus 2.5 against Michigan. No opinion there. Should be a hell of a game. Fresno State minus 2.5. That's at Hawaii. Louisiana Tech minus 3.5. That's against Southern Miss. And UTEP minus 6. That's against me. They play against Monroe. Circa opened that game 3.5. And Delaware +6. I have no opinion. They play at Florida International now. I lean the favorite. Okay, that'll be interesting. Go Chrissy on Memphis State and good health on UTEP. The rest of them, whatever. Okay, let's see. Back to it here. Tulsa on the move near midfield, first down. 13 minutes to go in the second. Tulsa is now the betting favorite in all the live markets. Chris has 2.5 minus money. Totals 53.5. Iowa Rutgers coming back 7-all. First down Rutgers at their own 37. Rutgers 2.5. There is 3. Circa's going to be running this thing high. They're clearly drowned to it. 57.5 and 58 are your totals. I like under, but I'm not going to do it yet. I was taking moonshots, and Rutgers did too on that first drive. I have to just sit and wait. I mean, surely to Christ, this game's not going to get to 60, is it? But the way it started, I mean, I can't count that out yet. And it got bet way up from the open as well. Rutgers runs the ball kind of up the middle on the first play of the second drive. Good work by the line. They got a push. And call it a 6-yard gain. Raymond again. So the option, quarterback finally gave it to the back, gets it 4. Then they run just a quarterback sneak. It's good for a couple yards. First down Rutgers. Out to their own 48. Clock moving, 10.5 to go in the first. Second drive of the game for them. Gun. Back offset to the right. They give it to him again. Running left. Slams his way for about 2, maybe 3. I will say Rutgers offense has looked as good as anything I've seen against Iowa. And that includes the Iowa State game. Shotgun again. Fires it to the right. That's caught right at the sticks. Strong. Going to be enough. First down. I do believe. It's really kind of telling and borderline amazing how much that quarterback's improved for Rutgers. I mean, he was nothing that resembled a Big Ten quarterback for a good part of his career. Oh no, last year. Yeah. Okay, he was at Minnesota. Yeah, this is crazy. 3 years at Minnesota, 13 starts, and he's still only a sophomore. Curious to see how long he'll be around. Certainly, he didn't produce at any sort of level that resembled this at Minnesota. And I know a lot of friends of mine that thought that Rutgers had maybe put their eggs in the wrong basket when trying to have this guy be the quarterback, given some of the stuff that they had built around him. But clearly, Greg Schiano has a clue what is going on here. He's averaging 273 yards a game. He's right on pace to go flying over that tonight against an Iowa team that didn't even give up anything close to this last week. I think they gave up 75 yards passing last week. Third and 3 coming for Rutgers. 8 minutes to go. Got a commercial again in the Tulsa-Oklahoma State game. You've got 4th and 1 for Tulsa on the OSU 42. Tulsa now a 3.5 point favor on the live price. And Dominic Richardson to the left, gains 4. First down at the OSU 38. So yards now 184 to 73 in favor of Tulsa. Time of possession now right at the same, 8 minutes or so for each team. Rutgers now first down at the Iowa 28. Minus another long pass. Same idea. Just get the receiver behind the D-back who's playing super aggressive. This time it's incomplete. Needed to get just a little bit more air under it. But another play where they just ran the slot, kind of a out and up. Should have been caught. Should have been a better pass. Should have been a better catch. I'll put this wrong, the quarterback. 2nd and 10 now at the 28. This is a play fake. Quarterback has an RPO option. Gets the guy that was assigned to the tight end decided to go for him, so he dumped it to the tight end, and that's complete for about 8. Tulsa threw a long pass inside the 10. It should have been caught. The kid just dropped it. Who knows? Here's a little slant. It's complete on 3rd and 5 for Rutgers. First down to the 5. It's crazy how they're making Iowa's pass defense look like it's a bunch of second-class citizens out there. I've never seen. I don't think I've seen this. I'll say one thing. I've seen enough of this. Indiana's going to beat this team. I wasn't for sure. That was one of those things I'm looking at the schedule. You can be for sure that Signetti is sitting here just salivating watching this. I think that's a schedule game for IU too. That was one of those I'm trying to figure out whether they're going to get to a decent record again this year. 1 loss or 2 at the most, which would put them, I think 2 losses for them this year, even with the shit schedule, would put them in the playoffs. Depending on who they lose to, I guess. But it's not nearly as bad as it was last year. If they lose at Oregon and at Penn State, that means they'll have to beat Wisconsin, Maryland, Purdue, UCLA, which are bad. That's at the end of the schedule. Michigan State, not sure. Iowa, Illinois. So that these first two conference games, the Illinois tonight at Iowa next week, will tell a lot. Sorry, I'll get it right. Illinois tomorrow on NBC, and then at Iowa next week. Don't know who the television is. And then a bye before the trip to Oregon. So that Indiana's conference schedule, with the exception of Penn State in November, is very front-loaded. Illinois and Iowa are the 2 best teams behind Oregon and Penn State. And the Illinois game is the only one they play at home. The other 3 tougher games, Iowa, Oregon, and Penn State, are all on the road. But I don't, like I say, other than Oregon, Penn State, those are all games that they should win. And they'll be favored in 10 games. Iowa, I wasn't sure about before tonight. I've seen enough of this. They'll be favored against Iowa if they take care of business against Illinois. So it'll be very close to a pick 'em if the game were played at Iowa tonight. But this guy is absolutely just taking it right down the field twice against Iowa. Great call by Third Splash Bra, who caught that. To do my best job of not trying to wear T-shirts, but when you're on a 2-hour stream and not a 10-hour one or a 13-hour one or a 7-hour one, a little easier to go casual tonight. So yeah, nothing tonight for me on any of this stuff so far. Waiting for a possible chance to get involved. Both games are on commercials. Let's get you up to speed on the box scores of each. Tulsa has a 3rd and 11 at the OSU 39. They lead 10-3. Tulsa is a live favorite 3, and the total's 51 and a half. Nothing for me there yet. The other game, Iowa-Rutgers. Rutgers has scored on both of their first 2 possessions. Iowa ran the opening kickoff back. They'll receive now. Rutgers is laying 5.5, 5 at Pinnacle, and 6.5 at Circa. Circa's been shading Rutgers the whole day. Presumably, I've been under the assumption, without talking to Derek or Benson or anybody in their risk room, I'm guessing that they're just either took a real big bet on Rutgers or they're just drowned to Rutgers and they're begging for somebody to bet Iowa. Great start to the kickoff, but since then it's been nothing but bad news. 6.5 and 59.5 on the total. There is 60 out there. I feel like out of principle I have to go under 60 when Iowa's playing, but I just can't do it. I just can't recommend it based on what I've seen so far. I mean, we got 21 points and they haven't even played 9 minutes yet. 6:03 to go in the first. Rutgers' second drive, 12 plays, 63 yards, 5:31 off the clock. Patel's extra point is good. The Kaligmanis was a keeper to the left side for 4 yards. So 14-7 Rutgers. Iowa's only time with the ball to this point was a 3 and out on their last trip. And yeah, that's that. Tulsa now back at it. Let's go back to the box. I'm not going to bother with the TV. If you're watching, these games are on ESPN for Tulsa and Oklahoma State, and Iowa Rutgers is on Big Fox. 4th and 2 is what it says for Tulsa. Looks like they're going to go for it. Clock at the 10-minute mark. Thanks for checking in, Third Splash Bra. Hopefully all's well on your end. I'll be around tomorrow morning, starting at 9 o'clock Pacific, noon Eastern. Hawaii goes at midnight Eastern and 7 Hawaiian time, 9 Pacific. That means that I'll call it a night when they kick. I'll be up and watching it myself, just relaxing afterwards. But yeah, that'll be after a 12 straight hours of streaming. That'll be it for me. I'll call it right at the 12-hour mark. And yeah, and then Sunday again back at it right when the NFL games kick at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific. Karnowski back out there for the second time today. He threw 2 long passes that were both incomplete. Both probably could have been, if not should have been, caught. And they lost 4 yards on a run. Now they've got a procedure penalty on the first play of the next drive. What a mess this Iowa is. Absolute mess. What's happening here with Tulsa? Oh, they're reviewing the play. He may have stepped out of bounds. They've been reviewing it for a while because I've seen it on TV for a bit. The box score hasn't changed anything. Okay, they called it on the field play stance. All right. Oh, it was actually against Rutgers. So 1st and 5, and they slam it up the middle. This time the Iowa drive is off to a successful start. That's Patterson gets 7 and a first down for the Hawkeyes. That's their first down. Total yards now 138 to 3. Of course, the asterisk being that Iowa received the opening kick and ran it back. They've only had the ball once. One friend I respect is on Iowa Live plus 190. I'd have no problem with that. Figure the game will turn at some point sooner than later. New live price is already down to 4. There's a swing to the outside. Caught by the back. That's Moulton. Give him about 8. Clock moving inside of 5 minutes. Tulsa 4th down play has been in the works for a long time. They did get a first down. Baylor Hayes complete to Lucas for 4 yards. So, first down at the Oklahoma State 26. Well executed game plan to this point for Tulsa, putting themselves in good down and distances. Play fake Iowa. Gronowski going to wing it down the field again. There's a guy wide open. And he cuts it back. He's down to the Rutgers 30. First down, Hawkeyes. Gronowski, he absolutely is the best quarterback Iowa's had in quite some time in terms of potential arm strength and ability to make plays down there. If you give him that much time, and of course they blocked well. That was only a 3-man route, and the third man was kind of like a late to go out in the pattern. So they were certainly going to give him time to make a play, but he sat back there and literally could have packed the lunch. Was patting the ball and everything. Iowa now running the ball to the left side. Here comes a flag as well at the end of the play. Multiple flags. Washington the carry for Iowa. He gets hit out of bounds and then hit out of bounds. Knocked out of bounds and then hit out of bounds. Short of a jet. Some jet action there. Got the lineman out in front. It's going to be about a 23-yard gain, and then they're going to half the distance to the goal from about the 7. I'm okay with that. It's kind of dirty for Rutgers, but screw it. It's a 4-yard penalty. Why not? Get your money's worth. First down and goal for Iowa at about the Rutgers 3. That technically counted as a Gronowski completion, which is funny to me. He threw it like about 8 inches. Washington gets 16-yard reception on a play that he did all the work. Power play to the back, that's Patterson. Give him a yard. He must have stepped out of bounds like a wave behind that, because that should have been first and goal at like the 3, unless I missed something. 38-yard field goal for Tulsa is down, up, and right down the middle. Tulsa 13, Oklahoma State 3. 7:49 to go before halftime. Real quick evaluation of the drive chart so far in that game. Tulsa won the toss and deferred. Oklahoma State field goal, Tulsa touchdown. Oklahoma State 3 and out, Tulsa field goal. Oklahoma State 8 and out, but only 19 yards. Tulsa another field goal. Tulsa's last 2 drives, 15 plays, 60 yards, 16 plays, 67 yards. They did only get 2 field goals out of both of them. Still, Tulsa leads 13-3. They've yet to punt. They've outgained Oklahoma State 202 to 73. And Iowa has scored a touchdown. This is from Moulton. 6 plays, 75 yards, 339. Extra point is pending. And now the total is going to be even higher than 60. What a weird start to that game. I know Rutgers has played some first half track meets, but he'd have told me 14 all. I'd said the game was probably like end of the third quarter, not middle of the late first. So Tulsa now time of possession 14:22 to 7:49. Although the last 2 drives they were running a little bit faster. There's some incompletions in there. The quarterback's only 13 and 19. The actual plays run 35 to 19 is a much more telling stat. So the average yards per play 5.8 to 3.8 is why you have 202 to 173. Each team has ran for 55 yards in that game. Again, Tulsa 3, 3.5. There is some 4.5 out there. I can't argue with it. I like Tulsa at this point, but it's too late to get involved. All is good, third class straw. Are you going to tweet out that you're doing this or still waiting? Answer to your question there, I'm waiting because I got a guy that's helping me set up all the back end stuff on Twitch to make it look nice and pretty. I'm not there yet, and again, I'm using. Long story short, I'm using Streamlabs and not Twitch or YouTube. It's like the Streamlabs page is streaming to both of them at the same time, but I want to try to make it look really, what do you want to call it, nice and pretty, and sort of professionalize the thing before I tell all my followers on Twitter that I've got something going here. These are all, I consider all this preseason or exhibition games. I was hoping, really, to be honest, to be live by last week, and it wasn't going to happen, but I was hoping maybe by this week, but the guy still needs a little bit more time. So I'm not going to rush him. You know, in a perfect world, we'd be out to a lot more people, but you know, the word of mouth will spread at some point. I know that this is something that's going to work out and everybody's going to like it. they're going to play the national anthem for a long time. There's no reason for me to sit here and try to rush this thing and make it happen before it's ready. Lord knows I've done enough stuff these first few tapes that if someone wants to go back and make fun of me, they've got enough ammo to do that, no problem. So, anyways, that's that. Let's see, live price on Rutgers now that it's 14 all, 2.5. Circa has picked 20. Total 65.5. My God, I can't do it. I feel like that's a joke, but it just an Iowa total in the mid 60s. Ah, shit. I don't think I've ever seen this. I'm trying to think if ever I've seen it. Certainly not in a long time. Maybe they played in one weird bowl game a while back where everybody was scoring. Let me see if any of Iowa's games in the last 6 years have gotten past 65 points. I have to think there's no way. Going back to COVID times, they played Penn State to 62 points. 2021. Oh, Maryland. They beat Maryland on the road 51-14, so 65 exactly. That's going to be the high number. There's no way they got more than that. So you can go under 65.5 right now, and that means that you're betting a team that's never scored since before 2020. They've never gotten more than that. If they go over 65.5 tonight, it'll be their highest scoring game since before 2020. Ohio State, they got beat 54-10 in 2022. Close. No cigar. That 2023 was laughable. Listen to these fucking scores. Conference games only. 0-31 against Penn State. 26-16, 20-14, 15-6, 10-12, 10-7, 22-0, 15-13, 13-10, 0-26 against Michigan in the Big Ten Championship. Their bowl games, 21, 37, 21, 35, 51 points. The Missouri game was last year. They got 51 in Nashville. They played Nashville 3 times since 2021. Crazy. All right. Rutgers starts at the 25 again, 9 yards on first down. Run up the middle, first down. Iowa has shown zero resistance whatsoever on defense. Something will have to change at some point, but it hasn't yet. Again, I was interested about how the Rutgers got off to a really fast start against Ohio. You look that they're going to run them off the field and cover every number. I think it was 15.5, 16, and they were up 31-14 in the third. Ohio, you came back and tied it at 31. So I don't know whether Rutgers has some sort of a plan in place where they've figured out everything with the pregame call chart and the scripted plays, and then things kind of get away from them after the adjustments, or what? We'll see. Shotgun, back offset to the right. Comes a little bit of pressure. Still fires it to the left. Completion for 5. Oklahoma State has 4th and 2. Clock moving 6.5 to go, down 13-3. And they punt. You must be shitting me. This guy's trying to get fired. No other explanation. He actually took a pay cut before the year, but I think his salary is still at the buyout level is like ungodly high. And with T. Boone Pickett's no longer with us, it's not like it can just happen overnight. Big play for Rutgers. Down inside the Iowa 20. That's going to be the last play of the first quarter. 14 all Rutgers on the move. First quarter, or the live update at the end of the first quarter will be coming in just a few seconds. I'll give you some brief stats as well. Tulsa's drive will start at their own 30. 6:16 on the clock. First play, Gain of 8 up the middle. Holding penalty on Tulsa brings it back. Sorry, that was first play was no gain. Second play was a hold. So now it's 2nd and 20. Baylor Hayes, the backup, zings one over the middle to Zion Booker. So that'll be 3rd and short now for Tulsa. This is pathetic. I mean, this is really sad. I can't get involved. That's the worst part. Okay, let's go over the numbers in this Iowa Rutgers. 14 all at the end of one. Iowa ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Rutgers took it right down the field both the times they've had the ball. Touchdowns of 6 plays, 75 yards, 12 plays, 63 yards. They're in the middle of their third drive, 4 plays, 57 yards. Right down the field once again. Iowa's first drive after Rutgers scored when it was 7 all was a 3 and out where they lost 4 yards and threw 2 incompletions. The second drive was 6 plays, 75 yards, right down the field and scored. So they had their serve broke once, and they also got the kickoff back for a touchdown. So it's 14 all. Yardage is 195 to 59 in favor of Rutgers. Yards per play, 8.9 to 6.6 for Rutgers. 10 minutes to 4:44 for Iowa. Obviously, no turnovers in these games at this point. Yeah, 14 all. The live price, Rutgers 3.5. Hard for me to argue with that. Rutgers gets the ball at halftime, and they have yet to be anything remotely close to being stopped. The total is the highest I've seen in an Iowa game in the history of my life. I mean, for sure, going back since before I moved to Las Vegas, for sure it was in Costa Rica the last time Iowa game was this high. But it had to have been something real crazy. 68.5 is the current number. 14 all at the end of one. Rutgers is in the Iowa red zone as the second half will begin. First down for them at the Iowa 18. All right, let's go back to Stillwater. Tulsa's up 13-3 over OSU. They have the ball in OSU territory. 3:53 to go before the half. There is a Tulsa man down. It's 3rd and 7 after Hayes' pass is incomplete to Foley. The yardage in this game is worse than the other one. It's 242 to 81 in favor of the Golden Hurricane, who were 12 and a half point dog. This game got bet down to 10, even with the quarterback for Tulsa being out. Clearly, the market does not respect Oklahoma State as much as the circa opening people did, and certainly I made the game higher as well. So I think it's more my number on Tulsa is not very good. I know that coach is supposed to be real good, but we were against them when New Mexico State beat them down there. That was a game that I had way different than everybody else. I think they made Tulsa a 3-point favorite, and I had New Mexico State 6. So, I had to make some adjustments there to get more in line with the market on both teams. And my New Mexico State number has sort of gotten back to normal with everybody, which tells me my Tulsa number was the one that was not in agreement. That being said, even though tonight's is not as well, I couldn't make myself get through the window laying this kind of number with Oklahoma State. Not after what happened in Eugene 2 weeks ago. That was just an ultimate shit kicking. Tulsa now has gotten another first down, short pass over the middle to Booker again on 3rd and 7. They are now 4 for 9 on 3rd down and 3 for 3 on 4th down. And those are just backbreakers for a team that's begging to quit to begin with. Tulsa in the red zone. Have they even punted? Surely they have. No, because the 2 other times they were stopped on 3rd down, they kicked field goals. 4 for 9 with 2 stoppages on 3rd down. The other 3 that they went for on 4th down, they got them all. Play fake. Oklahoma State guy did not bite. Okay, Rutgers with it again. Gain of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6 now. This is a bigger formation with one wide receiver to the right. He goes in motion left. They try to pound it up the middle. No, it's a play fake. Kaligmanis keeps it. Hurdles a guy, and he might be in. This play is going to be on the highlight film for sure if he scored. He's going to be down inside the 1. What a really nice play. This guy's pushing all the right buttons. This Rutgers, they might have to be something worth paying attention to. This is an extremely impressive offensive effort. Their wins have been over Ohio, Miami, and Norfolk State. So they're in conference the rest of the year. Their hardest conference games at Washington, Oregon at home, at Ohio State and Penn State to end the season, the last 2. They, in theory, that Minnesota's no layup. They could win like 9 games at this schedule. Be really curious if they somehow were to get through all of them except for Oregon and going to the Penn State Ohio State part of the schedule at 9-1. Certainly would be interesting. The way they played tonight, I've been really impressed. I mean, like I said, no one does this to Iowa. 2nd and goal at the 1. They did not get it on the first play. Here comes it's not a brotherly shove because there's no backs back there. There's no Saquon Barkley shoving the QB. I don't think he got in. Clock continuing to move. They're going to spot it short. Looks like maybe the head linesman has the ball down around a ½ yard away. 47-yard field goal for Tulsa is good. So the visitors have scored a touchdown and kicked 3 field goals. They've yet to punt. They lead 16-3 in Stillwater, 2:32 before the half. They also get the ball at halftime. OSU, after a field goal on their first drive, has come up with 3 straight punts. 2 of those 3 have been 3 and outs. The other one netted a total of 19 yards. Touchdown Rutgers. Kaligmanis gets in. 20-14 point pending. 12:07 to go in the second. Rutgers 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. Tulsa leads Oklahoma State 16-3. The live line is 7-ish on top for the 10-point dog. And the total is 49.5. That's too low. I think I would lay 7. It's getting fed up. Okay, so you have to wait. They're already playing. Maybe the 2-minute warning. Let's see what pops up at the 2-minute warning. The only problem is that surely to Christ, Oklahoma State's going to show some pride and make some plays at halftime. Make some adjustments at halftime. You surely don't think a 10-point dog at home is going to lay down like a dog. I'm sorry, a 10-point favorite at home is going to lay down like a pig and get beat, do you? I mean, I have trouble seeing that happen. They're going to review the touchdown up in Piscataway. Looking at something here. Sorry for the mute. All right, let's see. So the Rutgers touchdown does stand. We're going to have an extra point coming. Okie State quarterback runs the ball after protection held up and the receivers got downfield. 2 minutes to go, clock moving. It's going to be Flores for about a 15-yard gain. One of my friends said he can't play. I tend to agree so far. Running the ball clearly seems to be his strength. Throwing it, not so much. 4-man rush. That one's caught on a little crossing route for a gain of about 6. Flag down. That is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Let's see what the price is here on Tulsa. They're up by 13. I think I want to lay 6. Let's see if they let me. I'm going to take my chances that Oklahoma State can't score against them. I think they picked the flag up. I don't see anything here. 2nd and 3 at the OSU 47 for Tulsa. I want 6 only. Circus 6.5, Buckeye 6.5, Pinnacle 6.5, Chris 6, -17. That's an acceptable bet. 6 -26 also acceptable. No higher than that. Got 105. Can't get to that. Bodog, Jazz, ESPN bet. Couple have 7.5s out there. Can't lay 7.5. Yeah, 6 is the number. I can't quite get there. I want to. Tulsa gets it at halftime. They've been better. It's a lean only if you must sweat something. Go lay the 6.5, but I can't recommend it. 49.5 is the total in that game. Again, 16-3 late second quarter. That seems too high to me. But again, Tulsa hasn't even punted yet. Just kicking a bunch of field goals. At some point, those field goals start becoming touchdowns, and the total's in serious jeopardy. The pregame total opened 57, was bet down to 54.5, 55. Oklahoma State can't even do anything. That's why I think the under is still right, but hard to recommend it. The other game now, that's 21-14 Rutgers. For the next kick, Rutgers now laying 5.5, 5 minus money, 5.5 minus money. Chris is 5 flat. Live total. This I've never. I say this every freaking time, but I'm saying it again. Never seen a Rutgers total this high, or Iowa total. 69.5, 69.5, 70.5 offshore. 69.5 in town, 70.5 offshore. Just completely off the reservation. And again, I can't with any part of my right mind, I can't sit there and recommend, hey, why don't you try under? It has to go under at some point. Nothing that has happened in the first 48 of this game, with 5 touchdowns having already been scored, makes me tell you, oh, well, let's go rush to the window and get some under. Because there's all kinds of value now. There's no value in either team can stop the other. Iowa stopped itself on the first drive. 2 guys dropped balls. All right, I don't know what Jen Hale has to say. Let me see if I can listen to her. Guessing there was no injury there. The yardage in this game is like comical. 213 to 59. The other game is 253 to 125. Oklahoma State first down, 152 to go at midfield. That didn't last long. 17-yard gain from Flores to Jackson was OSU pass interference on 4. And back up 15 yards. It'll be 1st and 25. Now I like Tulsa -7. Gronowski out to the 45. First down, Iowa. Here's a cutback, and they're going to get it near the first down again. This is Patterson. I'm going to give him 9. I don't like that call against Oklahoma State. I mean, it may have had an effect on the play, but it's a punitive penalty for the yardage involved. 2nd and 25 for OSU now, 95 seconds to go in the half. Go back and forth with you here until that game hits the break. I was really wanting to get a shot on Tulsa here. They seem to be the side, or not seem to be. The other side just sucks. Iowa with a good old TE screen. I haven't seen that play utilized in a while. Tight end screens. Love the execution there. VJ Von Om. Tulsa now calling timeouts with a 3rd and 20 for OSU. Jesus, what does the world come to with Tulsa up 13 calling timeouts on the other team? Trying to get it back and tack on before halftime. This is the first running play by either team where the defensive lineman actually blew the offensive guys up off the ball and got into the backfield and made a play. Rutgers did get a stoppage there, probably lost a couple of yards. I'll give him 1. Scratch that. I'm down at the Rutgers 24. Gronowski evades the first guy, not the second. It was going to be a sack. He does throw it in the vicinity of a receiver. It's incomplete. There is a flag. The refs came flying in and firing a flag near where where the ball was thrown. It might be defensive holding or interference. Let me listen. Yeah, defensive holding. In college, that's a 10-yard penalty, not a 5. That'll take them down to the 14, first down, Iowa. Man, I feel like Rutgers is beating the crap out of them, and if Iowa scores here, it's going to be tied. 8:44 to go before halftime there. Iowa inside the red zone. Oklahoma State punting at 1:22 left on 4th and 16. They're down 16-3. They got a guy that's not on the field yet for the punt team. One of the wingbacks. Now they take a delay game. Or they call timeout, one or the other. Delay game. Punt team only had 10 guys on the field. This is just an abysmal effort. A shameful debacle from the Cowboys. 1st and goal, Iowa. At the 3, at the 2. Patterson banged his way down to get him here to the 2. Quarterback draw. Left side, he's going to run it in. Gronowski in from 2. Iowa is a point away from tying the game. 8 minutes exactly to go before halftime. Tulsa has scored on all 4 of its drives tonight. They'll have their 5th before the break, 1:13 to go. And they do get the ball coming out of the intermission. Iowa Rutgers, I'm at a loss for words here. 6 touchdowns in exactly 22 minutes. Let's see what the next total is. Tulsa starts their drive at the 5. 1:04 left now after the first play. They have 1 timeout left. Given the fact that they're up 16-3, they may not be in any hurry here. Yeah, this is going to be it. Halftime line, I'm going to guess Oklahoma State's laying like 4. The total 24.5 seems reasonable. Could be as high as 26. Yeah, they're just going to run it out. 3rd and 1. Looks like Oklahoma State calls a timeout. It'll be less than one. Turnpike Classic. OSU has won the last 10, 23 straight in Stillwater. The schools are separated by 72 miles. Be something else if Tulsa breaks a 23-game road losing streak in the series. So far, there's nothing I've seen that tells me that they won't. It'll be favored more than a touchdown for the game in the live price as we speak here. Rutgers and Iowa, 21 all now. Iowa has scored touchdowns on their last 3 drives after Rutgers has scored touchdowns on all their drives. Sorry, their last 2 drives for Iowa. Yeah, so it goes. Iowa runs the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Rutgers goes TD, TD, TD. Iowa goes punt, TD, TD. The 2 Rutgers drives, the last 2 were 5 minutes 31 and 5 minutes 17. Those were the 2 longest drives of the game. So it's why you have 6 touchdowns in 22 minutes. Tulsa will get the ball first at halftime. They do get out of the half. First double-digit lead against a power conference team in the last 20 years. So, let's see what pops up. 3.5. That's about right. I thought 4. 3.5 seems probably better. 25.5 is the same number that I said. 24.5 or 26. Nothing to it. Tulsa gets the ball first, and what they've done, I guess, gun to my head, it'd have to be Tulsa plus the points. You could take Tulsa money line for a little bit as well. What are they doing at Rutgers? Someone's running a TV up the TVs. I would hate for somebody to give me a TV at the middle of the game. What the hell are you going to do with a TV while you're watching football? What if it was raining outside? What if it was cold? What are you going to do with it? I mean, I can't carry a 50-inch TV. How are you going to carry it? That seems ridiculous. All right. Live price. Rutgers is still a small favorite. 2.5, 1.5 minus money total. 76.5. It just keeps going up. Every time I come with the live update, it gets higher. And I can't, like I say, I want to go under, but until I see something that tells me either team's going to get a stop at some point, just pass. And the side, how the hell am I going to do something with the side? I can't recommend that either. All right, drive starts, and I believe Cali Minus throws an incomplete pass. That's not par for the course. 12 for 15 now. He took a shot down the field. He had single coverage. The receiver actually tried to slow down and draw a penalty on the D-back. If anything, it probably was a penalty on the offensive guy. He had his hand in the dude's face mask. All right, so shotgun back to the offset to the left. They fake it to him. Oh, the Iowa guy had a clear shot and he missed. They're throwing it downfield again. Here comes the flag. The back judge didn't bother to call it. The other guy, 30 yards away, saw it. I mean, the right defensive end for Iowa just came crashing down, beat the left tackle by a mile. Well, they didn't block him. There's nobody there. The back didn't get there in time. The guy just missed, just whiffed. Kalikmana stepped up and made him miss. So Iowa holds down the field. That's whether they call it a defensive holding or an interference. Either way, it's going to be a Rutgers first down. It is interference. Tulsa, Oklahoma State line has settled in 3.5 dog money, total 25.5. There is a 3 out there at Paradise Wagers. Again, 25.5. The total pretty much painted. I got nothing to it. I would only have Tulsa, but I can't recommend anything at this level with the way the game's played out. Tulsa does get the ball first. They never punt it. All right. Give myself a little Valium here on this game while I talk to you guys. It's only one game. Why not? Caligmanis, they finally got him. He did not get sacked, but he did only get a yard. So 3rd and 7. This is the first time Rutgers has been swimming in these kind of waters. Drops back, fires another long pass. Defensive back tackles the guy. Here comes another flag. I'm guessing that Rutgers must have had some sort of tape saying that we can beat these guys deep, and they're not gonna let you catch it, but they'll tackle you. So on 3rd and long, they get another interference call against Iowa, and that'll move it out past midfield to the Iowa 43. Running on 1st down. Rutgers is after Raymond's carry on 2nd and 7. It's going to be 3rd and less than a yard. Clock moving inside of 6 minutes before halftime. Let's see if the coaches start to play chess with each other here with the clock being maybe a factor as we get near the end of the first half. Remember, Rutgers won the toss and deferred, and Iowa ran. Oh no, sorry, Iowa won the toss and took the ball, and then ran the kickoff back for a touchdown to start the game. And since then, it's just been a ping pong game back of touchdowns, with Iowa actually punting on their first possession. Five minutes to go, clock moving now. Rutgers has been running the ball now. They've had a couple of, the last 2 passes have been interference penalties. Other than that, the whole drive's been running plays. They're down to the Iowa 30. Offset back left. 4-man rush. They throw it to the right side. This time it's incomplete. Everything's just, they're not even bothering to do anything underneath or short for the most part. Just long passes and lobs and fades. That one didn't have enough air underneath it. The receiver went out to try to make a play, but hits the defensive back in the helmet. He's trying to gather it in, one-handed style. 4:44 left, 2nd and 10 from the 30. Again, tied at 21. No movement in the other game. Oh my! Oakland and Pittsburgh stayed under 4-3. I thought for sure I had no chance to win that. No run score after the 5th inning. I'll gladly take it. I kept waiting for the Pirates to get to 4, so I was going to lose. That's like stolen money, under 8.5, winning that one the way that started. Rutgers another first down. This is complete to Fletcher. Out in the flats now, it'll be to the 18. Clock at 4:18 to go and moving. Caligmanis now 13 for 17 for 177. No touchdown passes. They ran all their touchdowns in. This time he wants to throw it, and they got him. No one open this time. They finally had some protection down the field. Coverage shack for Iowa knocks them back outside the 20 again. This will be 2nd and 14, and really the first time that Rutgers has been significantly behind the sticks the entire night on 2nd down. Jesus, the right guard clothesline, the guy that made the play for Iowa. No call. Get away with whatever you want to sometimes up front. Motion right here. Here's a fake draw. Run it to the other, throw it to the other side. That's Fletcher again. Catches it for about 7. So the misdirection slows down the pursuit a little bit, and it'll be 3rd and about 5. Call it 6 from the 14. Trips left, the tight end's in. It's a slant to Sheffield, incomplete. And Iowa has a broken service. Or let's call it a mini break if they hold them to a field goal. 2:45 left. Now the chess match continues with both teams having all 3 timeouts. How aggressive does Iowa get in the early downs this drive now that they've scored touchdowns the last 2? Certainly they don't want Rutgers to get it back, as Rutgers does get the ball to start the second half. The field goal was good. There is a flag. False start. Knock them back 5. And the field goal is no good from 37. Bangs it off the right upright, and the 5 yards does cost them. The kick from 32 was good, and it would have been good from 37 and 42. This one had plenty of leg and just missed it to the right. And so now it's a full break of serve for Iowa. Oh man, that thing banged right into it. Knocked it back all the way out to the middle of the end zone. 21 all, 2:40 to go in the second quarter, and now Iowa has a chance to take the lead at halftime, even with Rutgers getting the ball first. That was the first real signs of any sort of resistance. Yardage currently 244 to 122 Rutgers, 184 to 70 in the air, 60 to 52 on the ground, 38 plays to 16, which means Iowa, even though they're being outgained 2 to 1, is actually averaging more yards per play than Rutgers. Gronowski 4 for 6 for 70 yards. Caligmanis 14 for 19 for 184. Iowa 10 for 52 on the ground. Rutgers 19 for 60. No turnovers. That missed field goal was the first Rutgers drive that did not turn was not a touchdown, and the first drive of the game for Iowa was a 3-and-out. After that, they've scored touchdowns on their other two. This will be their fourth drive because of the kickoff return for a touchdown. Live price, Iowa now favored again. Reds win. That's muy bueno as well, 7-4. Baseball off to a good start tonight. This Washington, what a piece of shit. They got 7 runs in the 7th inning, 6 runs in the 7th inning. They're still getting beat. Incredible. Lafayette in the 1AA closed the 3-point favorite, 53.5, 54. It was bet up from 50 early this morning. Diddle in the middle on the total. 38-14, Lafayette beats Columbia. Patriot League team at home against the Ivy League invader. Tulsa, Oklahoma State, no halftime movement. That second half will start in about 5 minutes. Threes flat out there now in town. Paradise 3 lay 15. It's 3.5 to dog money, dog 20, dog a quarter. That half point is not worth anything more than about 10 cents. The 3 to 3.5 in a second half with the game sitting 13 like that, it's not worth a whole lot. Just a regular half point. Don't treat it like it's a 3 for a pregame price. It's not. And Iowa now laying 2, 1.5 at a couple spots, and that's offshore. In town, I still see Circa pick, and the Westgate actually has 1.5 on Rutgers. So beats me. Clearly, there's some dissension in the ranks, and the total has finally gone down. 71.5 flat, 72.5 under, 72 under 24, 70.5 flat. That's Westgate. Karnowski, a quarterback draw to start the drive. He gets about 6 from the 20 to the 26. 2.5 to go. Here's a running play. That's Moulton. He's going to be about a yard short of the first down. Two-minute warning. Iowa has 3rd and less than 1. Both teams have their full allotment of timeouts still, so neither team has blinked yet when it comes to that. Let's see. Sorry for the delay here. I'm trying to read through a bunch of stuff. Make sure I'm not missing anything important. Problem with being a one-man team here, when I'm trying to inform, entertain, and educate you guys for hours on end, is that I'm trying to get as much of this news as I can here. Because when I'm talking to you, I obviously don't have any volume on for the most part watching these games. In my tweet deck, I'm only one person. No movement in Stillwater. Tulsa 16-3. They'll get the ball to start the second half. The game, the first half line was Oklahoma State 6.5 and 27.5 under 15. Obviously, the side nor the total were particularly close. Game opened 12.5 at circa, closed 10. Tulsa clearly the correct side. I don't know how that's going to change. I've seen weird things happen in football before, so I'm not going to grade the game yet, but Tulsa seems correct, and I don't even know how Oklahoma State's going to cover in the second half, let alone come back to have a chance to win the game. Total is 25.5. That's a consistent number pretty much all over the world. Iowa Rutgers current live price, one on top with Iowa. There is some pick on the bottom, pick flat. 71.5 flat. So we've got ourselves a consensus line at the 2-minute warning. We start back with Iowa on third and exactly 1 from the 29. They need to just have the ball touching the 30. Motion right. Gronowski drops back. There's nobody there. It's kind of an option route to the back. It's complete. Good work. Moulton catches it. They put the backer in a pickle. He came in and was going to try to go after the quarterback. And again, it's one of those pick your poison plays where they put him in a 2-on-1. He goes after the quarterback, which he kind of did, and the receiver's open. And if he goes to cover the receiver, the quarterback, after running a naked boot left, was going to run for the first down. So, clock stops. He gets out of bounds. That's a gain of 11. It's out to the 40. 1:54 to go. Clock stopped. Each team, again, has all 3 timeouts. Gun, back offset left, trips right, drops back, nothing there, and he fires it to the back again. This is a gain of 2 on his check down. We're going to go no huddle here. The clock is moving inside of 140. Trips right, draw, Moulton again, powers it out to the 46, 47. Clock continues to move, 125 left. Again, we have a Mexican sweat contest between these coaches with neither team. I spoke too soon. 124 left on third and a long 3 or a short 4. And it looks like Shiano has dared Iowa to get a... Nope, I'm wrong. That's what you get for assuming, asshole. Timeout Iowa. Go to the timeout, the commercial. We'll get an updated price here. I'm guessing with third and short. With Iowa at the ball at this part of the field, they'll probably be a small favorite. But I can tell you one thing, if they have to punt, Rutgers will go right back to being the favorite again. Especially with them getting the ball first at halftime and having a chance to score before halftime. Second half underway. Tulsa's already out to midfield against Oklahoma State. That game is on ESPN, the game I'm watching here most closely on the regular antenna, so I'm going to have a faster feed than you guys, is on Big Fox. Third and 3. Motion right, left, back right, trips right, roll right, fires it, incomplete. That whole play kind of seemed screwed up from the start. The tight end was in motion, but he looks like the timing was off. Just when he was going motion left and then back to the right, the roll was to the right, and the throw was way behind him. So Iowa calls the timeout before the play, and it throws an incomplete pass. So now Rutgers is going to get it back after the punt with all their timeouts left. This might be a good chance to double dip on Rutgers Live. They've been taking some shots down the field to begin with. I think I'm going to do it. Hang tight. Let's see if we get a timeout here. Bomb down inside the 10 to the 11. 1:14 to go. I'm assuming there's not going to be a TV timeout. Rutgers is the favorite. I want to lay less than 3. Let's see what happens here. I'm sure I won't get a chance. Okay. We're going to try. Not enough of a market. Chris is 2.5. I'm trying there. I can't give you guys a play without a full price, full options. Nope, nothing. Okay. My guy's on standby here. Let's see what we can do. Here's a draw play. So a safe call on first down. Let's see what happens. Timeout. Why the fuck are they running the ball anyways? What are they doing? You're up and down the field doing whatever you want to the whole half until the last drive, and now you're going to run that play on first down. So Iowa calls timeout with 1:06 because Rutgers seems disinterested in trying to score. Now I have to wonder if they're going to try to get more aggressive on second down or not, but certainly I'm not interested in laying any sort of number with them after seeing that shit. Iowa has 1 timeout left. Rutgers has all 3. 1:06 to go. Rutgers has the ball at their own 12. 2nd and 9. I'll stick around for just a few minutes into the half, and then I'm going to call it a night. I may work a little bit later next week. Let me double check. I believe the schedule next week on Friday was a little bit more friendly in terms of a little bit longer night and a little bit better schedule, plus combine the fact that I can maybe take a little bit of a break and then come back. I think that sort of can come into play. 1:06 to go. There's a draw again. I don't understand. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, and then the last drive they struggle, and now they're getting more conservative than Pat Buchanan. So Iowa calls their last time out with 1:01 left. Rutgers has 3rd and maybe 8, 3rd and 7. I don't know, unless he's just setting him up to take a shot or something. I mean, I don't want to get on Shiano too much. They've been great. Next week, yeah, it'll be a little bit longer night. Florida State, Virginia is the Friday night game on ESPN. That's at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. TCU, Arizona State kicks off 2 hours later on Big Fox at 9. And then Houston, Oregon State don't go until 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. That's the second half of a doubleheader. Houston at Oregon State. So next week I'll be here from 4 o'clock all the way through halftime of the Oregon State, which is going to be roughly 9, a little bit later. So instead of 2 hours next week, I'll give you 5. Tulsa's field goal to start the second half is good. That's their 4th of the game. Again, they've yet to punt. A touchdown and 4 field goals on their 5 drives. They lead OSU 19-3 in Stillwater. Live price 11 and 44. There are some 45s out there. 11 and 44, 45. Rutgers has 4th and 1, and there's no. Iowa's out of timeout, so Rutgers is going to call their timeout when the clock runs all the way down. They are going to clearly punt it. Content to go in 21-21. Timeout call with 14 seconds left. So this is Oklahoma State having 2 weeks to prepare for this game after getting beat 69-3 against Oregon. They're down 19-3 against Tulsa. Let's see. Anything else to report? No. If you got questions, ask them now. I'll be sure to get you a halftime price when it goes in, and then once it stabilizes, that's it for me. Rutgers is in a spread formation here before they punt it. 14 seconds left at their own 20-ish. The punt is off. They might have roughed him. Might be a running into. Caught it. Oh my God, the same guy that got the kickoff breaks the tackle. He's out to the outside 45-30. 35, 30, 20, down to the 14. Is there any flags? I don't know, but guess what? The clock ran out. All that took too much time. I think the returner, this Wetchen, just totally lost track of the clock at the end there. Shiano's upset that they didn't call a penalty on the punter. Looks like he did get at least ran into. Man, that seemed like it didn't take 14 seconds. It's kind of weird. And that's one of those, he has to, like, if he sees the clock or there's any, I mean, you have to have one going off in your head somehow to maybe get down with a couple seconds left. Clearly they were in field goal range. All right, so after all that nonsense, it's 21 all. Let's give you the rundown on the stats. Rutgers has outgained them 253 to 149 time of possession, almost 20 to 10. So literally had the ball for 2 to 1. Which means Iowa's averaging more yards per play. Rutgers has run 41 plays to 22. Kaligmanis is 14 for 19 for 184. There are no turnovers each way. Iowa ran the kickoff back for a touchdown after choosing to receive the kickoff, so Rutgers gets the ball first to start the second half, despite the fact that they had the ball first after the kickoff return. So the drive chart, Rutgers had it first. TD, 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 field goal, miss, and then the punt. That 3 and out at the end of the drive, at the end of the half, which is a total head scratcher given that Iowa had not stopped them all night. Iowa went punt, touchdown, touchdown, punt. And again, that was it. So they had 4 possessions to Rutgers had 4 as well. That 5th one I refused to count, other than them making Iowa call their timeouts and run the clock out. 253 yards for Rutgers in one half is really, really hard for me to fathom against Iowa's defense. Yeah. House Hageby, 3 drives, 2 touchdowns. Without him, 25 drives, 1 touchdown, 4 field goals. 2 INTs, 18 punts. Yikes. I know he was a good player. I didn't realize, I guess at the time, how much it was going to hurt him with him gone. It's kind of like for me, I didn't realize Missouri, when they lost their backup after 1 play, the guy that got drafted by the Dodgers, I really thought that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But this kid from Missouri, the other guy, was at Penn State. Clearly, he's going to be highly thought of by a lot of people. Okay. So, OSU 3rd and 7 at their own 25, trips left, quarterback rolls left. He's going to keep it and run for the first down after the 40. 10:34 to go, Tulsa 19-3. Halftime line in Piscataway. Rutgers gets the ball first. Rutgers is a favorite. Rutgers is only laying 2. Circa 2.5 dog 15. Just use 2.5 flat. If they're still driving the game, why would you make dog money? 27.5 is the total. That's pretty well painted. So the total backed out of the 70s now. I can't have it. I mean, it's incredible. I don't think I've seen an Iowa total at 27.5 in the second half, like maybe ever. Certainly not any time in recent times. There was a couple of times when they played games where the game total was only a little bit higher than that, like in the low to mid 30s. Given the game state, the score, and the way that was bet beforehand, Iowa was a 3.5 favorite before the game, and it got bet down to as low as a pick 'em at circa. Iowa 1.5, 2 elsewhere. Richie Bachelari, my man Richie, was on Rutgers +3. Hard for me to believe that there will be much movement on this halftime. Rutgers gets the ball first, and Rutgers being the favorite is the right thing. No arguments with it at all. It can't be as high as 3, and it certainly has to be higher than 1. 1.5, 2, 2.5 is all the same. I would book it at any of those numbers, and let the market take it where it must. 27 flat, 27.5 on the total. Again, can't believe I'm saying this with a number that high, but I kind of agree with it. First half number was 23. Game has been a total track meet until the last drive where Rutgers started with 8 minutes left and took it down and missed a field goal. And then Iowa, ran sixth place for 27 yards, but were in kind of a hurry and they had to punt it. And then Rutgers just ran the clock out. So even though there was no scoring in the last 8 minutes, don't necessarily think that won't just start back up again. I mean, all it takes is 4 touchdowns. Clearly, we've seen that can happen. And Iowa's touchdown drives were only 6 plays and 7 plays, so they can score in a hurry against the Rutgers defense. I guess I would lean under, but I couldn't go anything less than 28. And remember, overtime's in play here too, given how close the line is, and the fact that it's been kind of back and forth like this. So yeah, hard pass for me. I'll stick around for another minute or so. Let's call it. I'm looking to see if there's any other questions on either YouTube or Twitch. I don't see them. I do appreciate you guys checking me out tonight. Thanks to Third Splash Bra for the questions a little bit ago. I would give you the baseball scores. There's no need. You guys don't care. You can find them out on your own if you want to look. There's one girls basketball game going. Phoenix is leading New York 31-19. The winner of that one plays against top seed Minnesota in the next round of the playoffs. That'll be the semifinals. The other semifinal, Indiana, the 6th seed, will play against the 2 seed Las Vegas in the next round. I believe those series are now up from 3 games to 5, and then the finals will be 7 games. 21 all, half. Rutgers 1.5, 2 total. 27 or 27.5. There's no movement whatsoever. That's going to do it for me. Tulsa 19-3 over Oklahoma State. We're inside of 10 minutes to go in the third. I may stick around for the rest of this Oklahoma State drive. Let's see here. Flores is now 10 for 17 for 60 yards for OSU. I may not. That'll do it. Okay. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate y'all hanging out for a couple hours with me. And good luck the rest of the night. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back here bright and early, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, for 12 straight hours of college football streaming on Saturday. Look forward to it. It's going to be a hell of a day. Several bets going into the day. I'll run those down for you. I'll actually be back a little bit before the top of the hour, maybe, to run those down or right when the game starts. And we'll go over those sides and give you something to sweat with me. And then, of course, we'll be looking for live and live and second half action. So really watching the first halves close. See if we can pick out some winners for second halves, and of course try to find some live stuff that hopefully would be as good as last week when we had Memphis State against Troy in the second half under. Last week, the live and second half plays were 7-1 and 11 units, 11.3 actually winners. So those are the days that you live for. When you have them, you're like, all right, this is what makes you want to get out of bed. So you can pull one of those tomorrow. I expect a lot of happy people in here. Be well, take care, God bless, and I'll see you tomorrow.